Hello and welcome to today's NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar event with Mike Green of NinjaTrader. My name is Tiffany and I am a platform representative at NinjaTrader. Again, we have a very special event with you today with Mike Green of NinjaTrader. But before we get started, I'd like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures, contracts, and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the link provided. For more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor recommendation, but simply educational in nature. This webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the NinjaTrader brokerage. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools and services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. For update information, be sure to like or follow NinjaTrader ecosystem on all social media accounts. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. And if you're just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. We're very excited for this unique event in which Mike will demonstrate the Ranger Plus system with Easy Trader. Thank you again for your attendance today. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room, Mike. Please take it away, Mike.
Okay, Tiffany, thank you very much. And welcome to everyone for attending our webinar. And we welcome everybody and especially all of our YouTubers out there. You can contact us at the phone number and or the Skype that you see displayed on the screen here. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay. A special thanks to NinjaTrader ecosystem. We really do appreciate them doing this, and especially for all the hard work that Tiffany does. And so we're going to get going through this. It is important that you are aware that all trading does involve risk. And please take a moment to read this. We have our complete disclosure statement on our website. And this presentation is for educational purposes only. Okay, who we are, we're not a large company, although we've been in business for over 20 years now. My name is Mike Green, and I've been trading for well over 30 years, and I'm the owner and the developer of NinjaTrader, with a big assist from John in the beginning. And John's been with me for a long time. And Tim's been with us, I think, 2 or 3 years now. We are all three traders, and we're traders first. And we are busy in the morning generally, and we take care of business in the afternoon. Okay, what do we really need to trade effectively? I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Everybody's looking for that magic indicator or that magic bullet that will be the one thing that's all they need to trade with. Well, the truth is there is no magic bullet and there is no magic indicator. It's a series of things that you need to be aware of. You need to be aware of where the Fibonacci power zones are. They're very, very important, and they act as support and resistance lines. You also need to know where the one-to-one Fibonacci extensions are, both major and minor. And we have what we call dynamic trade zones, which you'll be seeing today, or we supply our dynamic order flow with support and resistance zones. The dynamic order flow SR zones are quite unique in that they are measuring the flow of orders as it relates to the price in the market. You need to understand what market symmetry is when to trade. You need to know when to stand aside when the markets are choppy, and every market gets choppy. And lastly, you need to know when to pull the trigger to enter a trade. So What this boils down to is you have to know where the price levels are, where the support zones are, where the resistance zones are, where you have a higher probability of being successful. And that's really what trading is about, is trying to find areas where you increase your probability for being successful. And you have to know when to pull the trigger. What is market symmetry? Well, it has to do with swings in the market, where the pivots are, and we have several good indicators that enable a user to determine what is the market symmetry, where might it be going, and that's what's important. You have to anticipate in trading, and you have to have some roadmap as to where you think the market's going to go. Well, the market's going to do what it wants to do. We all know that, but there are tools that you can use that we provide that will give you an edge as to anticipating where the market might move. We have tools like our NX trend and our neural director and our rangefinder, and you find, and they look like this. And what it's keeping track of is what the market's doing and where it's headed to and what it might do. When you get a condition where you're getting dots like this, that's an indication that the market may be entering into a period of chop. And so that's a heads up for you as a trader to be more careful. When you see the rangefinder stepping up like it's doing here, you can see that it's starting to trend up, and here you can see it's starting to trend down. And this is our neural director down here that is keeping track of the various swings in the market and to tell you when to be careful. These are not indicators in themselves that tell you when to pull the trigger, but they're meant to inform you as to what the conditions are in the market and where it's headed and what it might be doing. Our power Fibonacci levels. We've all heard about Fibonacci, and we all we think we know what it is. Well, we calculate every evening and post on our servers, and they populate automatically on our users' workspaces. And we calculate them daily, and they are not calculated during the day. I mean, what you see today will have been there yesterday. So when you look at it on a back testing basis, they don't change because you've got new data. They are the same, and that's important to know. But you can see on here, this is a Fibonacci resistance area. See how it bounces off of those areas, and this is like these little small lines you see around those. Those are intended to be zones of that entire fib line right there that you see. We have our major Fibonacci extensions, which are these little cyan dots that you see here, and these little pink ones are the minor Fibonacci extensions. Those typically act as either a support or resistance area. And when you get a major or a minor, but a major really, at a fib line, you know that you have a very, very strong resistance area. And you ought to be thinking about, should I be taking a short trade? And I can't impress enough the importance of these power Fibonacci levels. We teach this to our users. Every time we meet with our users twice a month to do teaching and training on using our software. And these levels are very critical, and you need to pay attention to them. We have our dynamic order flow support resistance zones. These are calculated dynamically, and it's looking at order flow for the bid and ask to what's in the market to determine levels of support or resistance. And as you can see here, this is a support area. Here's a support area. And these will change as the market moves throughout the day. As part of the dynamic order flow package, there are 8 unique indicators, of which a couple of them, one is a delta divergence indicator. When there is ever a delta divergence that occurs in the market, it will tell you, and it will plot a triangle and an arrow for the direction of the delta divergence. There's also a volume exhaustion indicator. Whenever volume is exhausted based upon the bid and ask values, and when you see those occur at a support or resistance area, they are really quite powerful. These are the calculated points of control. Okay, now that we've talked about support and resistance, anticipating what the market might do, but how do you get into a trade? How do you enter a trade? Well, you must have some way of triggering it. And we have several tools for doing that. Here's 6 of them. And they are used for triggers to enter a trade when the proper trade setup is occurring. This here, what you see right here, is what we call our Easy Trader Buddy. And it is quite powerful in that when these 2 green dots line up, you get an arrow plot on the chart. This is the direction master, keeping in mind that cool colors are up and warm colors are down. By warm, I mean red or magenta or green or cyan being cool. And we have our exit reentry tool, which is quite useful for the times that you get into a trade. And let's say you exit at a point where you've taken profit, but the market continues to move. And you may want to re-enter that trade. Well, here's an example where you can use the exit re-entry tool for re-entering a trade that maybe you have exited. For example, right here, you can see where this trade here you might have executed and gone long. And let's say you took profit, let's say after, you got 10, 15 ticks or so, and it went right to a major 1-to-1. And there's a minor there too, as you can see, both the cyan and the magenta dots. But let's say this is going to be a continuing move. Well, how do you take advantage of the continuing move, and how do you have a trigger to get back into it? Well, that's where the exit reentry tool comes in. And you can see here as it goes from green, yellow, and goes back to green. So there's a point of reentry, and it plots another arrow for you. That can be quite powerful on a trending market. We have our golden signal, our scalp trigger, and our golden divergence. These are really, really quite powerful tools. People don't generally put all of them on their screens to trade with. It depends on their trading style and what they're trying to do. Rangefinder. Our rangefinder is to alert you what's happening during the day. It's not intended to be a tool to say trade now, but it's to alert you as to what possibly is going on and what you should be thinking about, all the way from an uptrend to a downtrend. It can tell you when there might be a good area for a reversal, or it might be a good area for a pullback. There are messages that are printed on the screen, and you'll see them in a few minutes, as to help you have a mindset as to what you're trying to do. And that's as much as, that's as much as important as anything else, because it's a mindset as to what your outlook is and what your expectation is in the market. And so it's anticipating what might happen and having the tools to tell you when to take action. And that's what our product does. The next task is automation. Everybody, and one of the worst enemies of most traders that I've talked to is let's say you get very good at determining what is going to happen and you have a good setup, but you hesitate in pushing the button to execute a trade. That happens to everybody. So we have our ATM Entry Assistant product. And what it does is it enables you to set up an automatic entry system that when proper conditions are met, for example, you can use up to 5 different indicators to define a trade setup. So effectively what you can do, you have the ability to define a defined entry based upon defined trigger tools that you're using, and have the order placed for you automatically. And the system can be managed by any ATM that you design, depending on your profit and your stop loss objectives that you have set up in an ATM. We do provide many sample ATM strategies that come with our product that are meant to be used or adapted by yourselves for use with our ATM Entry Assistant. We have a full 24-minute video on our website that fully explains how this product is used and the ins and outs and tricks that are important to understand, but it is fully disclosed on how to use it. You can define how it gets into the market. You can go in on a market or a limit order, depending on how you set it up. And that's defined here. And here you defined up to 5 indicators. You can have 1 to 5. You don't have to use them all. Our Ranger Plus trading system includes the Ranger Plus, the Easy Trader, and Dynamic Order Flow. You get all 3 of those products. The Easy Trader is where most people begin because it's the easiest to see. It's easy on the eyes, and it's been around for a long time. We developed it over 20 years ago, and it continues to work. The Ranger Plus includes the Easy Trader, but many other tools that, as you become more familiar with the product, you can use as many or as few of those tools as you want on the Ranger Plus. But the Easy Trader is the basis. I'll be reviewing the Easy Trader and the Ranger Plus with the dynamic order flow zones shortly. This is what the Easy Trader looks like. It's simple to look at, but there's a lot of work going on in the background. It's very simple. You buy the green bars and you sell the red bars. It's really that basic. These are your stops right here. And depending on how you trade and how your ATM is set up, you can see exactly what happens. And this is very typical. The fact is, this is a screenshot from today, as a matter of fact. And this is not unusual. This row here is to help the user see where these stops are. You could darn near trade just from these stop levels. Okay, so when you get a green dot, you're going to get a little bar here, and this is our discretionator down here that is part of and is included in the rule set that causes the red or the green bars to plot up here. As you become more familiar with the product, many people like to use more of our tools. So what we have is we put in what we call our Ranger Plus screen, which takes into consideration the Easy Trader signal, the scalping with the trend, and reversal signals that enables you to take some discretionary trades in addition to the Easy Trader trades. That screen looks like this. It's much busier. Many people prefer to just stay on the Easy Trader, but you can see the Easy Trader signals are on here. And you can see the dynamic order flow zone, see how it bounces off of this. See when you get down to a Fibonacci, this also is a screenshot from today. But it has the same thing that you saw on EasyTrader with some additional tools that you see on here that I was showing you earlier. You have your discretionator, you have your rangefinder down here, and you have your EasyTrader buddy here, and the exit reentry tool here. So all of the tools are there. And as a user becomes familiar with the tools that are on the screen, most of our users migrate to using the Ranger Plus trading screen as they become more familiar with the tools. You can watch our stuff actually run real time, to be honest. I mean, all you have to do is to go to our website, and we have a virtual room where our product runs real time. And the purpose is to demonstrate how the software will look on your own system. It is unmoderated, that means no sound, and it runs Monday through Friday, and it runs around the clock, which is also probably a good point to bring up at this point. Nobody should trade around the clock because there are good and bad times to trade the market, depending on the market that you're trading. So many traders, what they do is they try to trade all the time. For example, on the E-mini, the best time to trade the E-mini, obviously, is from the open, or maybe 8:30 to maybe 11:30 or 12, noon to around 2:30, 2:45. Most the more markets calm down, it gets a little choppy, it's a little harder to trade. And then around that time, it picks up again and trades for about an hour again, right up into the close. So you have to know the personality of the market that you're trading. It's very critical because you can't trade it all the time. You should be trading it in the best times to trade it. But you can watch the E-mini run full time simply by going to our website, and I'll show you that in a moment. And so let's take a look at that, okay? If you go to our website, and our website looks like this, and all you do is to go over to the software area right here and go to Live Virtual Demo, and you click here for Virtual Demo, and then you put in a little information and it immediately sends you back the entry code to get into the virtual demo room. You can do it anytime you wish. This is where you watch the Auto Entry Assistant video simply by clicking on this. And when you click on that, it takes you to a screen that looks like this. And you can watch the 25-minute video and see exactly how it works. You simply are able to program complex entry parameters without coding. It's really pretty marvelous. So with that being said, I think time-wise I'm still okay. And what I want to do now is to take a look at some real charts that we have here. And here's the power fib, here's the power fibs. Here's the trigger tools, and here's some of the dynamic order flow tools. This chart's live. You can see the delta divergence with the volume exhaustion right here. These plot real time, and they plot when it happens, not up. The price is not up here when these plot. These happen immediately upon when it occurs. You can see the point of control, the delta divergences, the volume exhaustion. This is a live chart, folks. This isn't a screenshot that I took yesterday. This is actually live as we're speaking. And you can see it as I scroll across. And we are right here. And you can see the time. The markets are closed, obviously. But you can see as it plots volume exhaustion and delta divergence. This is the EasyTrader, real time. And you can see that the signals. I'm going to just go back real briefly here and show you. This is the 8:30 time frame right here. There's the first trade. There's the second trade. Here's one that didn't get you a lot, but it's got some. Here's a trade here. Now, it's important to point out, it's important to it's important to know that as you trade, it's important to have a goal, make your goal, and quit trading, because trading is a zero-sum game. Somebody loses, somebody wins. So how many times have you been up and you gave it all back? So when you're trading like a business and you have a daily goal, you will find that you'll have a much better chance of being successful. But you can see the trades right here. Here's one where we almost got stopped down at around 10:30, but it didn't. So that's kind of what it looks like. Well, not kind of what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. And you can see how these trades are. This happens day in and day out, folks. I mean, this is not magic. I mean, this is exactly what it looks like. Here's the Ranger Plus with the same tools on it as I was showing you before. It's still got the same Easy Trader signals on it. As you can see, I will point out, I see one of the comments here about somebody said that it looks like Renko bars. Well, these are not Renko bars. These are specialty bars, what we call next bars, and they are formed with volume and price input. People say they look like Renko bars, and they do look a little like Renko bars, but they are not. They are specialty bars that we have created. And so that's really what our product looks like. That's what it's all about. And it just continues to work. We've been doing this now for what I think since 2001. But this is where people begin with us. They learn our indicators and how to use them, and they migrate generally to this. A lot of our users just stay on this because it's easy on the eyes and it's got the stuff that they see to trade, and they can make enough money with the Easy Trader signals. So that's what the Ranger Plus and the Easy Trader are all about. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back here, and we're going to restart the PowerPoint. Okay. Everybody, when you look at this, people, there's people out there that sell stuff, and I've bought a lot of it myself, and most of it's in the trash can. We tried to develop a product that is useful for beginning traders, intermediate, and expert traders. That will give them that edge in the market, which is what we need. So we have decided to make our product very, very much available. What I'd like to do is, after I get through presenting what we're doing, is we're going to have a question and answer session here that will be good for up to, I guess that was 10, 15 minutes by Tiffany. We'll be happy to answer any and all questions that people have. This product sells for $24.95. You get the Dimension 8 Ranger Plus, the dynamic order flow, and the automatic entry module. For people that are attending this, we are offering a special discount of 10% off up on through April the 23rd. So, folks, that's what we're all about. We hope that you like what you see, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to entertain them at this point. So, questions that are coming in, John or Tim, you've been watching those questions. So how about if you, John, why don't you try to respond to some of the questions that have been asked already? I just saw what happens when you go out of business. Well, we've been in business 20 years or so. We have a succession plan, and we plan on being around for a while. I guess you could ask that question of NinjaTrader themselves. What happens if they go out of business? Okay, we're in business and we've been in business a good long time. Any other questions here? Tiffany, are people able to speak?
No, we can only view questions coming into the chat.
Okay, I got you. Okay, John, have all of the questions that have been asked up until this point been addressed? Okay. It's $24.95. It says, can you just buy EasyTrader? Well, that's what you're buying is the EasyTrader with the RangeMaster Plus tools. As far as track record, I would suggest that you watch the live virtual demo. We do not publish a track record, but I think if you watch it for a week or so, you'll get the idea. We've been doing it for a long time. Do we have any further questions here? Does it work for all contract types, grains, etc.? Does market need certain minimum requirements? Well, first of all, you have to have a market that is moving, and it has to have enough volatility. Will it work on grains? I think so. I don't personally do it myself. I've traded it on gold, crude oil, the E-mini. I have not traded on grains. We have our own YouTube channel, but we don't have a lot of stuff up there. And Mr. Gary has asked to see our statements. We're certainly not going to show you our personal statements, Mr. Gary, for obvious reasons. We still got lots of time for questions, folks. Our product will work on all major futures contract on. Yes, it is under NinjaTrader. James. James, okay. The arrows are trigger arrows, James, okay? And when you saw the Ranger Plus screen, those were all being plotted by, as you can see these arrows here, it depends on whether it's on the buddy, because as you look at our charts, you can see that on the EasyTrader buddy, we have that set so that it is plotting the arrow. So you have the possibility to turn it on or off. And you also can define the offset for the arrow. And so on this one, we've got the Trend X Velocity trigger, the EasyTrader buddy trigger, the discretionary trigger, and the exit reentry tool. Those are the arrows that are plotting. And here's the signal generator that plots the EasyTrader signal. So there's 4 or 5 different arrows that are plotting. Does that answer your question, James? Lisa, can one watch the video prior to purchase? Which video are you talking about? You're talking about the virtual that we do? You certainly can watch that. You can watch that one. Yes, you can watch that right now, Lisa. All you have to do is go to our website and you can watch it. This is pure simplicity. I don't know how you could be much simpler than that, Mr. Gary. You buy the green bars and sell the red bars. How simple do you want it? Mr. Gary, if you join us, I'll be happy to buy you a set of sunglasses. Have any other questions? That's a good point. What do the red dots on top of it? Those are the stops. Okay. And this is a good question here by James. When you join us, we just don't send you an install file because we want to make sure that it's installed properly. And once you join us and we process your order, we send you an email and you pick a time that's convenient for yourself. For me personally, to come onto your computer while you watch me, and I actually install the product for you. And at that time, to make sure everything is working properly. So there is no question that it's installed properly. And we just insist upon that because so many times when you purchase something, they send you an installer and you're never sure that it's been installed properly. We like to make sure that it's been installed correctly and we do it for you. Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. The question from Steve. Those are informing you that you have reached an area of extension where there's a good possibility of a reversal. You can see the same thing on the lower level. That's what these lines are down here. And when you get those dots, and of course you wouldn't do it now because it's the end of the day, but if you have some red dots like that plotting, which means that you have extended price-wise, and you have those occur at a fib level, you can anticipate that there's likely going to be a reversal there. So that's a good chance to take a discretionary trade down to the downside. Okay, I'm glad I got that, James. I didn't quite understand, but I do now. Yeah, but that's what that is. I'm gonna see if I can find one here where it was on the bottom side. As I scroll back here, we're into the prior day. Okay, like right here, you can see here, right, this is not a good time, but you can see how it pulled up right here. And you're at a fib level and you see these red dots, and then you get the confirmation dot, which is that white dot right there, and see how you had that nice reversal trade. That happened. That's a very common trade. Any other questions? I would encourage you all to watch the 25-minute video that we have right here on our website, and you can get there by going to software and click on live virtual demo. And from the live virtual demo, this is where you can get into the virtual demo area and watch the product live every day. I would encourage you all to do that. And I would encourage you all to watch this 25-minute video on exactly how the ATM Entry Assistant works. And in summary, this is a terrific offer. With a price of $24.95 for this package is almost unheard of in this industry. But we want to make it available to everybody that is serious about trading, and to give them a tool that will give them the edge in the market they need. And that's really what it's all about. And until April 23rd, we're going to give a 10% discount. So all you have to do is to place the order, and you place the order at our website simply by going here to information and go to pricing. And when you place the order here, all you do is click on order now. And when you do that, complete the order, and in the special notation field, just put in webinar special 10% discount, and it will be honored. When you place an order, it is not processed immediately. All orders are processed manually. Okay. Okay, do we have any other questions? It's about 5 o'clock. I think that's about the time limit they wanted me to have this all done by. I would encourage you guys to take a look at our product. Okay, we have any other questions? We do not have a leasing option. There is an ongoing maintenance fee. The first 3 months, there is none. It's $50 a month maintenance fee starting after the 3rd month, and it's paid quarterly. I want to thank everybody for attending, and I hope we've answered all of your questions. And thank NinjaTrader for being our host. So Tiffany, I'm done, if they're done.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I would like to start off by giving a special thank you to Mike Green of NinjaTrader for a great presentation today. NinjaTrader ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope that you will attend them on a regular basis. We would like to remind you the information provided in this was of NinjaTrader and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spent with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us at NinjaTrader ecosystem, and have a great day.